Alright, what's up everybody, Sam from Brother MMA Bet. In this video we're doing my card predictions for UFC 276, Adesanya versus Cannonier. As always, let's go through the entire lineup with the picks and the bets, then I'm gonna be breaking this down to you guys. So before starting that, let's cover the results from previous card. So UFC on ESPN 38, Gamrot and Tsarukin. I risked 4.75 units, it came back 6.45, so it was 1.7 units of profit, or 36% of the card. Was not big profit, but anyway, at least a small profit there. The props that I had, some of them cashed nicely. I'll show that in the ending of the video. By the way, if you wish to support the channel and know how the Patreon can benefit you, and one example of that is the props. You get the props from the Patreon. I will stick until the end. I'll show you the results of the props and how you can support the channel and maximize your profit with the Patreon. All right. So let's move on to the entire lineup. And then we're going to move on to the breakdown. So between Brett Tavares and Dupreis, I'm picking Tavares, small bet on him. Robbie Lawler, Brian Barberina, I'm picking Lawler. Very tempted to bet Lawler, decided to pass. But yeah, picking Robbie Lawler. I'm going to be waiting for the weightings and bet Lawler if he looks good. Strickland and Alex Pereira, very interesting fight. I'm picking Strickland, but very tentatively. I really don't know how to pick this fight. I'm going to reward consistency a little bit more here, picking Strickland, but not betting. OMalley and Pedro Munoz, picking OMalley, not betting. Macy Barber versus Jessica I, picking Barber, not betting. Jessica Rose Clark, Yulia Storialenko, picking Rose Clark, but not betting. Young Gary and Gabe Green, picking Gary, but not betting. Adesanya and Jared Cannonier, picking Adesanya but not betting. Jalen Turner and Brad Riddell, picking betting Turner, my biggest bet of the card, 1.5 units. Then Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway, picking Volkanovski but betting Holloway. Small bet on him, 0.65, sorry, 65 units. All right. So two fights I don't have here on the presentation, guys, because I forgot to move. So let me break this from here, and then we're gonna move on to the spreadsheet. By the way, for you guys to have access to this as part of the Patreon, in here you guys have all a sum up here on what I'm doing. I released this earlier on the Patreon, this material, so one of the benefits there. So let me break down these two that I didn't add there, but I did review the footage. So between Jessica Rose Clark and Yulia Storialenko, guys, this is it's an interesting fight because, I mean, Rose Clark is more well-rounded. I think she definitely has the stand-up on this one. From the top, she probably is the better grappler, but Yulia Storialenko is very dangerous, that armbar. She goes deep on that. Rose Clark got caught in an armbar against Stephanie Egger, not taking nothing away from Rose Clark. That was a legit submission, you know. She trapped the arm and just didn't let it go. Egger showed her BJJ skills there, her BJJ black belt in display. Rose Clark did the right thing, she just couldn't get out and she got finished. But Yulia Storialenko, she's an armbar specialist. She's really good in that with a deep armbar. Guys, to be honest, if Rose Clark survives the first round, she's probably going to win this fight. A live bet here may be the best. Maybe the best, because Yulia has 3 arm bars where she puts everything into them, and it's very difficult to stop. But if you stop those, then she basically sits back and she doesn't have much of a strategy after that. So I think the best bets here are the following: Rose Clark by decision and Yulia Storialenko on the submission in round 1, right? Rather than that, it's very tricky to bet. If you're gonna force me to bet, I would bet Rose Clark at these odds, but tricky one here. And Ian Gary versus Gabe Green, another interesting one. Gary has the potential, a little bit of hype, but he got a little bit. I think some people probably got surprised by the fact that he was not able to finish Darren Weeks. I think could happen the same here, but Gabe Green, he's a little bit more game than Darren Weeks was. He has a better structure to his game. He's more aggressive. I think he gets hit a little bit more, but it's not a problem because he has a strong chin, and either he takes one and throws a combo after. It's difficult to fight this guy because, like I said, he's strong and he has a good clinch game. Has a good top game. It's difficult to out-grapple this guy too. You know, Gabe Green from the bottom, he escapes, he reverse position. It's tough to hold him down. Ian Gary has a decent double leg, but not the best wrestler, so I don't think he's gonna really control Gabe Green unless. Actually, Gary has good control. He has a good ground game, but not the best wrestling. So I'm not sure he's gonna be able to take it there unless he drops Green on the feet or time a double leg very nicely. So I mean, this is a close fight, guys. I have Gary like 55% favorite. I think he has a little bit more chance for the finish too. But if it goes decision, basically it's anybody's fight in my opinion. I think the best bet here is Gabe Green by decision as an underdog, or obviously fight go the distance. But I think this line going to be expensive, the fight go the distance line, so we'll see. But I would take fight go the distance, at least from like, I would like to get it at plus money, but I would take this fight go the distance at minus 150, something like this, because even though Gary has more chance to finish, I don't think he finishes Green, and also the opposite way, Gary obviously never lost, and I don't think he has a weak chin. So I think this go the distance. I'm being quite conservative here, being saying that's 55%. I'm more thinking that it's between that and 65. So I would take something like minus 150 and fight go the distance for this one, right? Or like I said, if I don't like the price there, I'm gonna go Gabe Green by decision here. Okay. So let's move on to the rest of the card, and here I have more organized. So between Brett Tavares and Dricus du Plessis. It's an interesting fight because we're going to see whether both Tavares shows up and du Plessis actually is the fighter that he seems to be, something like this, because he's been finishing guys, so you get hyped by that. He definitely has a powerful left hook and an overhand. He also showed good double legs. His last fight, I was tempted to pass this one, and taking a stab at Tavares. I think Tavares is more consistent. He doesn't have the use goes to Du Plessis here. Du Plessis also is not, he's fairly experienced, but the higher level experience obviously goes to Tavares. And the size, it's quite even, I think Du Plessis is a little bit stronger just because he's younger, but this could be tricky. Tavares is a thick guy, strong legs. Tavares is very consistent with the striking stuff to outstrike this guy, and it's very difficult to take him down. Actually, he tends to beat wrestlers when he can be the stand-up fighter. And it's tricky here because Dricus du Plessis has more power, also has decent stand-up skills. I think du Plessis is also the better wrestler maybe, but the better grappler, I think, most likely, most definitely. So back and forth here, guys. I ended up thinking that I think these odds are a little bit reversed, to be honest. I think Tavares should be a small favorite. You can get Tavares at plus money, so that interests me a little bit. So I'm going to go Tavares. Also, Tavares by decision is the pick. He could finish du Plessis. Du Plessis, I think I've seen him getting dropped some fight. I don't remember now. I haven't gone through everything this time. I went through this before, but I don't know if my memory recalls me correctly. I think du Plessis also was dropped before, so I don't trust much du Plessis, to be honest. I trust more Tavares, so plus money makes a little sense to bet Tavares here, all right? Maybe Tavares by decision also if the price is right, and if I'd go the distance at plus 150, I would take it as well. Macy Barber and Jessica I. The young gun here versus experienced veteran. Let's see how Macy Barber gonna fare this task. I think she will do well. She looks game to me. She's been around fighting in MMA forever, right? Forever, I mean, since she was born, but since she was probably a child, she was already training. She has legit skills, very good stand-up skills. She has legit power. She's young, she's athletic, training hard. So she has all the tools to win this fight, but again, she's fighting a veteran in Jessica I, who tends to stop prospects. It's not impossible the he wins here. Probably the best bet again gonna be Jessica by decision, because I don't think she finishes Barber. Barber has also more chances for the finish, so if someone gonna finish someone here is gonna be Barber. I has very little chance to finish Barber. So that makes I by decision a very interesting bet as an underdog. But guys, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the hype here. If you're gonna force me to bet, the line is expensive on Barber, so give you my rationale here, wouldn't make sense to bet Barber, but I think Barber has a little value. I wouldn't blame you if you're doing some parlays with her, but I think for now it's better to pass. I'd like to bet Barber maybe at plus 100, but plus, yeah, no, 100 is too little. I think plus 150, that range I would be interested in Barber by decision because it's not easy to finish high, obviously. So rather than that, maybe Jessica is an underdog at plus 300. That's a good decision, pro bet in my opinion. Jalen Turner and Brad Riddell, my biggest bet as I told you guys. I mean, it's obviously what's going to happen here. It's going to be Turner using that incredible range and the stand-up skills. Brad Riddell is no slouch in the striking by any means. The man has legit skills. You know, he's thick, he's powerful, has good calf kicks, which could be interesting here against Turner. But I mean, guys, Turner has that massive range. He's so sharp, and the man is huge for the lightweight. Obviously, doesn't have much muscle. It's impossible 6'3" at 77 inches or 78, whatever he has, to be muscular. But the man is sharp, you know, and he can do everything. He also can grapple a little bit. Now the question here is, can Riddell out-grapple Turner? He's going to try, because if he stays on the outside, he's just going to get dominated, right? It's too much of a reach advantage for Turner, as good as Riddell is. I think Turner is still better in the technique, plus Turner has that massive reach, you know. So in a stand-up fight, it's Turner all day. Let's see what if Riddell gonna be able to take this to the ground early on. That's probably gonna define the outcome of the fight. I like Turner a little bit here, guys, because I don't think Turner gonna get dominated. Even if he gets taken down, I think he escapes. It's very difficult to take Turner down with that incredibly long legs too, you know. And I told you guys, like, he's young, so he's still also very strong. He has the use advantage here. To me, the only advantage that Riddell has, besides being more physical with the grappling, is the kickboxing camp. So he probably training with Adesanya, which is good because Adesanya and Turner basically similar lengths, so that helps a lot. But I'm not sure if Adesanya would go 100% in the camp against a two classes smaller fighter, probably a friend of his. So there's all of that. So I still think Turner has lots of value here. My biggest bet on Turner. I think he finishes Riddell. But even if he doesn't, I think still Turner by decision. By decision could go either way, right? So if you like Riddell, it's also tricky, but yeah, actually Riddell also has some chances for the finish. So yeah, it's a tricky fight if you don't like Turner, but I do like Turner, right? So I think this line, these odds, especially Turner at minus 120, big value in my opinion. Sean O'Malley and Pedro Munoz, easy to break down. O'Malley, everybody knows him. Sharp striker, stays around, controls the range very nicely. Very difficult to fight this guy because he's 5'11" as a bantamweight, decent reach, difficult to take down, right? Munoz, known for that incredible chin. The guy probably has never been dropped, which is insane in the amount of shots he still eats. I think at some point he's going to get knocked out. Maybe it's going to be in this fight, but still Munoz's chin is incredible. This is wrong here, guys, sorry. So, I don't know, man. I think my odds here, I forgot even 65 and 35. Yeah, I think the safest pick is Sean by decision. I think it's Sean by decision. I would take this at like plus 250. I would take even Sean O'Malley by a knockout from plus 300, right? Even though Pedro Munoz has never been finished, it's not impossible, right? And then Munoz has to be on the money line if you like, because he's at plus 200. He could finish O'Malley, you know, if he finds a clean shot, or he could also win a decision, you know, if he marches O'Malley down and makes him fight on the back foot, right? O'Malley can hit him but not finish him, something like this, right? So sorry that I'm fixing here, maybe distracting you guys, but just to finalize here. So these are basically my odds for this one. I think O'Malley should be like minus 200. He's minus 300 now. So the value could be on Munoz, but very tricky. I think the best is to pass here, right? Or, I don't know, what's going to be the line on O'Malley by decision even, right? Probably everybody thinks that O'Malley can knock out Munoz. So maybe O'Malley by decision in this one. Not impossible to find. Probably going to be my bet for this one. Only Sean O'Malley by decision. Robbie Lawler versus Brian Barberina. this is an interesting one, fight of two bangers. Barberina is basically Lawler, but in a younger version, right? More modern version. Lawler, old school brawler, former champion. Big power, at least he had, right? Now he's 40, so let's see if that still is there. But experienced guy, was never the best wrestler, neither the best grappler, but throughout the years developed a decent takedown defense, good escapes, right? And aggressive on the feet, throwing big power. Barberina was known by endurance, the incredible chin, and taking shots and just pushing, grinding through until the opponent gets tired, he takes over. Still his style, he still does that pretty well, even though he is a little bit more technical at this point. Tough one to pick, tough one to bet. I think the value is on Lawler. I have him at minus 130. The line was minus 120, now it's minus 125, so it's very close to what I have, which makes it tricky. But like I told you guys, I think if Lawler shows up well in the ratings, I'm going to end up betting him. I think he has more chances to find a bigger shot, right? He has way more experience. I think that has to be favored a bit. Barberina obviously has the use here, has the better chin, even though he got KO'd sometimes, but he has the better chin. So that's also makes it tricky. But I think Lawler can take some of Barberina's shots, whereas the opposite, it's probably going to hold true, but I think there's more chances for Lawler for a finish, so that's why I think Lawler, if you're betting, is the way to go, but tricky one again. Strickland, next Pereira. Man, this is an awesome one, isn't it? I mean, Pereira looks incredible, right? Obviously, he's known for knocking out Adesanya outside of the UFC in a kickboxing match. I've been saying this a long time, guys. It's not difficult to know because you just look at Pereira, you know that the man is made out of made out of steel. He is like incredible, right? With that size, 6'4", super rangy, very dangerous, you know, and you know how dangerous he is because he's extremely patient there, right? But when the guy makes a mistake, it comes that liver shot, it comes those 1-2 and kicks. Man, this guy is incredible, really. He's like, he's flat-footed in there, you know, it's like those guys that bounces around, but it's his style, man. He's made of steel, like I said, and once he starts hitting, you can see that the man is an elite kickboxer. He's fighting Strickland, which is an excellent stand-up fighter himself, you know, was outstriking everybody. He's also a very good grappler, even though he doesn't use that much. Guys, my question here is, I mean, Strickland, he's also smart. He knows what he has to do here. Will he be able to clinch and take Pereira down? I think so. He's going to have to fight smart here. But Pereira, man, the man is coming out for real, right? I think I don't know, man. I think the value is in Strickland here because you have to favor the experience in MMA, right? The Strickland is proven in the stand-up, his stuff. Plus, he's good everywhere, as I said. And the Pereira is basically a stand-up fighter, at least at this point. So, but he's an elite level as he could dominate the stand-up and Strickland. If Strickland cannot get to the ground, it's going to be tricky. So still, I think Strickland should win this one. It's his fight to win. But we'll see, man. If Pereira wins this one, probably he's going to go for the title shot. And it's going to be interesting against two kickboxers again there. Let's see what happens here. Very interested to see this fight, the outcome of this fight, right? Maybe I'm going to bet Strickland here. Maybe we're going to bet Strickland by decision. Probably that's the way to go. I'm going to be checking out that decision prop. I haven't done yet. And I'll let my Patreon guys know if I'm going to be betting Strickland by decision or not. Alexander Volkanovski and vsHolloway. Trilogy of the fight. Don't have much to break down rather than it's going to be probably similar. Actually, it's going to depend a lot on Holloway here. We know that Volkanovski going to do what he does. Try to hold the stand-up fighter, the stand-up game, and use the clinch. That's what he does. He's excellent there. Very strong fundamentals. vsHolloway has the height, the reach. Holloway did good job in being aggressive against Calvin Kattar. He shined there. Everybody was talking about it. I don't think he should do that against Volkanovski. It's dangerous. Volkanovski has more power, even though vsHolloway's chin is incredible. I don't think he should try to, be like an instinct fighter against Volkanovski. I think this doesn't serve him well. To me, Holloway has to fight smart. He has to stay on the outside, you know, outpoint Volkanovski. It's very difficult to finish Volkanovski, as it is to finish Holloway. I don't know, man. I have a feeling that Holloway gonna come out aggressive because that's how he won his last fight. I think this doesn't favor him well. But anyway, guys, I think still blending everything together, even if Holloway comes aggressive, he can find a clean shot. You never know at the end of the day. Now Volkanovski is probably 35, which is also not that young any longer, right? But and I don't know, Max start landing, maybe accumulates damage, start dropping him on the fourth, on the fifth, never know. I still think it's in a firefight, it is Volkanovski fight, but I don't know, man, when these guys start landing clean, anything can happen. So blending everything together, I still think Volkanovski has more chances, but I think it has to, the bet is definitely double pass. So I have a small bet on Max Holloway on the money line, and I'm gonna be betting Holloway by decision for sure. Probably similar to what I'm betting the money line. I'm gonna be betting him by decision because that's probably what's gonna happen. I think fight go the distance is gonna be expensive, but obviously that interests me too because my pick is Alexander by decision. So let's see how this goes. And in the main event, Israel Adesanya and Jared Cannonier. This is also an interesting one. Obviously, everybody thinks that this is Israel Adesanya's fight because Cannonier is also a stand-up fighter. Adesanya taller, longer, the current champion, all the kickboxing experience, which is very true. My question here is, Cannonier, is he gonna take chances here? I mean, if the man comes aggressive, guys, if he comes moving that head and takes the front foot, start landing calf kicks, corrals Adesanya, start trying to take his head out. I mean, Adesanya has all the experience to handle that, but anyway, man, it's a guy marching you down. It's not like any guy. It's a professional fighter, right? Cannonier has big power, right? He's hungry to win, I think. Right, he can find a shot. And he hits very hard again. Right? He's not gonna try to out-grapple Adesanya. I think I wouldn't expect that. I think if he tries to do that, he's gonna just get tired and probably then he's gonna get finished. I think we're gonna see Cannonier coming for the knockout, which is gonna be interesting, right? I think I would bet Cannonier here if the line becomes crazy, something like plus 400. I would like to bet Jared here. I think, like I told you guys, if he comes super aggressive, he has a chance. If he comes to have a technical kickboxing match, no way. If he comes to try to out-grapple Adesanya, I think would be a fool to try that, because Adesanya is not, obviously he's not a grappler, but he's not going to be out-grappled by Cannonier. And then I see Cannonier getting tired and getting finished. So to me, Cannonier has to be aggressive. I don't know what he's going to do, obviously. I would advise that, but I don't know much what his coach is going to advise. So anyway, blending everything together, I think at these odds, I don't like to bet Adesanya. I think I would bet a Cannonier, like I told you guys, from plus 400 or Cannonier by knockout, as I'm telling here. Maybe an option because the line going to be plus 500, maybe, right? Makes sense, plus 500 at Cannonier by knockout. But between that, if I can get Cannonier by knockout at plus 500 or Cannonier money line at plus 400, obviously I will take the money line. Not impossible. Also that Cannonier keeps marching Adesanya down, lands bigger shots, not too clear who is going to win. Maybe Cannonier wins the decision, never know. But I think the most likely scenario is Israel Adesanya by decision. If Cannonier gets weary, doesn't want to get hit, and just content to lose a decision, then I don't know. I think that's the pick. That's what I think most likely scenario is Israel by decision. All right, guys. I think this was a little bit longer video. I think I break this down with a little bit more detail than usually do. Let me know if you guys like that, or let's go more direct approach. So this is taking 25 minutes. So, guys, if you choose to support the channel, I have 2 tiers for you guys. For $10, this is in Brazilian reais. So this is $10. This is $50. For $10, you guys have access to this spreadsheet. As I'm showing here, there is my comments as commentator here. You guys know ahead what I'm doing. I'm summarizing everything here. So this is for 10, sorry. Plus you guys have access to my posts. So let's take a look into the props that I said. So this was a good card. Last card was a decent card for props too. So I think when I published this one a week ago on Saruki, I said already about the props. So I said about Gamrot, Magni didn't cash, but I know this was the money line bet. Here I said about Curtis and Vieira go the decent at plus 450, great value that cashed. I'm very happy with that. I made quite nice money there. What else? This one, some extra props here. So then I put more money on Shylon there, so it cashed, and this one didn't cash. This one didn't cash. And let me show you guys how it looks like the $50 tier. The props, I put the props here line by line, so you guys can compare to this overall strategy. Sorry. So how it was in the previous card, we see on SPN 78. So here's the Gamrot by decision that I bet. Magni didn't cash. Then this was Magni and Shavkat in a draw, never know. So Curtis, Vieira, and Curtis and Rodolfo Vieira going the distance. This cashed nicely, and some of them I lost. But at the end, it was a nice profit, 1.5 unit. Depends on unit size. My unit size is big, that's why I don't profit a lot in unit size. But I also in January I don't lose a lot. So it came 1.5 units here on the props, which is nice, and also it was profitable for the card. All right, so this is how it looks like. On the $50 tier, obviously you guys can always chat with me, ask me your questions, right? I'm happy to help you guys, all right? Plus, you can show your appreciation to the channel. This will do for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll talk to you next time. Same from Brother Bet, bring the best, most consistent, and transparent betting strategy for you.